This individual says, it should not be assumed that CEU can take the place of active and ongoing skills instruction, coaching, and assessment in the workplace. How will a regulatory college assist struggling departments who do not encourage workplace learning?
I think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I can address part of that. Part of the problem with some of our members is that they work in the remote parts of BC where there simply are not the availability of education. So we can be creative. We could do webinars such as this where people can be participating. CTABC is looking at creating a 3-year cycle of going throughout the province into strategic areas where members might be able to come. Part of the problem is that there are not any backfill for some of these members, that they simply cannot get away, even though they desire it. And these are things and concerns we are hearing from our members that we do plan to address. And technology is a wonderful thing that, yes, you can hold a webinar like this and provide somebody with a CEU. And a lot of our techs do CEUs online in the evenings on their own time. And that's what we'd be looking to be able to provide for our members.
Just as a point of interest, the MRTs, the medical radiation technologists, on last Friday did a 3-hour webinar, and everybody who attended, and we had about 114 from across the province, got 3 CEUs. So technology is changing rapidly. It enables people to take an hour off work, go into their computers and participate in upgrading their skills and getting those credits, rather than leaving wherever they are, traveling, going to a central spot, and I think the employer will be much more receptive to this mode of continuing education as well.
I think one of the benefits that I see too with a regulatory college of this nature coming along, hopefully down the road, it's really the scope of the college that we're talking about as well. And as we mentioned earlier in the presentation, if this umbrella college were to come about for lab technologists, radiation technologists, cardiac technologists, ultrasonographers, and any other related technologists who may wish to be part of this umbrella group, one of the things that I see coming out of that is the ability to significantly raise the profile of those professions. We all know that a regulatory college is not there to necessarily benefit the technologists or the members. A regulatory college is there for public protection and purely for public protection. And they don't sort of spill over into the role of the associations or even the unions for that matter, in terms of the roles of these organizations are very clear and very distinct. But one thing I do see happening with this particular regulatory college, if it comes about, because of the sheer numbers, this regulatory college or this regulatory function, whatever it turns out to be, would actually be the 3rd largest college in British Columbia. It would be third only to the College of Physicians and Surgeons and the College of Registered Nurses. And so all of a sudden you're dealing with a group of professionals that have such scope and such magnitude that we can start to be heard on some of the issues that are really important to our profession in the workplace, whether it's education, whether it's work hours, whether it's pressure in the workplace and all of those kinds of things that are brought to bear upon the technologist. We will have the wherewithal, I think, to be able to address that, because we will be significantly raising the profile of these professions. Technologists, in my opinion, for too long have sort of operated in the shadows of doctors and nurses. Most people in the public don't even realize what we do as technologists. And I think by having a college of this magnitude, it will assist the profession itself in raising its profile and being able to address major issues that we're facing in the workplace. Clinical placements are a huge issue for the future of our profession. Yet we don't have the ability to increase the number of clinical placements because of the pressures in the workplace. Now that may seem more like a union issue, and it is perhaps, and certainly an issue for an association that represents its members. But I think simply by having the profile of a recognized, licensed profession in this province that would be the 3rd largest college in British Columbia, we can get people to pay attention to some of our other needs, even though they may not fall as part of the mandate of the college. And certainly the registered nurses are very good at what they do in terms of getting public attention and getting profile for their issues. And it would allow us, I think, to deal with some of those bigger issues that are facing our membership across the province on a regular basis.
If I could just build on Malcolm's comment, he's exactly right. I've heard comments about, well, if you're going to advocate for a college for technologists, you must be saying that they're incompetent. Absolutely the opposite. You look at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Does it exist because physicians and surgeons are incompetent? No. But it has done wonders for giving that profession voice and clout to advance some of its issues. And a college for, an umbrella college for medical technologists would give us the same kind of voice and power.
And I think that when it comes to education, and by giving us that voice, it would change the view also for your employers to decide that our education is important, and to change that train of thought that currently seems to be happening. A lot of technologists as well don't even consider even education a right anymore. Although there may be a few funds or not enough funds, or maybe some funds available, they feel that maybe they're impinging too much on what they think may be necessary. And by having a regulatory college, it would point out that education is actually, it should be a mandatory requirement of our professions. And it would change the viewpoint of the employers to think so too.
It's also going to provide safety for smaller communities where you may not have a need for a cardiology technologist 24/7, but you still need to have ECGs done or other type of tests done that can be cross-trained along with radiation or with lab, because quite often they are asked to do that, but they're not given the proper training. It's not just a case of simply putting stickers on and pushing a button. If you don't put the stickers on properly and understand what it is that you're getting as a result of the feedback, you can be putting somebody literally in harm and literally killing them if it's not done properly. And this is something, by having a cross college and a joint one, we can work collectively together to help support those people working and living in these remote areas where they don't have full services available.